Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special evening of a spotlight of three, not just one, but three amazing independent or self-published authors. Brenda and I are so excited to have the opportunity to do this spotlight with these amazing women. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm Lisa Harrison for all of our new members, and I'm here with my co-host Brenda.
Hi, everybody. We are very excited to bring you this special program tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and start introducing our panel. How about that?
Please do.
Okay, but before I do that, actually, this author panel started when we were developing our reading challenge prompts, and our March prompt is to read a book by an independent or self-published author, and that's been a very big hit. So we decided to go ahead and have a panel so that our book club members could learn a little bit more about some independent authors. So let's get started with introducing them. First is Natalie Banks, who is a best-selling and award-winning novelist who writes stories from the heart, and you can feel it in every word. Her Southern roots show through her scenes, and her faith in life sings on the pages. When she's not writing, she spends time on the beach in Wilmington, North Carolina, daydreaming about new stories to share with her readers. Welcome, Natalie.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here.
Hi, great to have
You.
you.
Yeah,
Thanks
thanks
for
for having
joining us.
me.
And next is Shay Rodricks. Shay started her storytelling journey in musical theater and obsessively reading fantastical worlds from her favorite authors. She fell in love with writing as a way to tell the stories she wants to read and explore the worlds she wants to explore. Shay currently lives in Atlanta, Georgia. I know Lisa's like, with her hubs, the kiddos, an old man dog, and a ball python named Steve. We may
Yes.
need to learn more about that later.
Hello.
Welcome, Shay, my fellow Atlanta friend.
I know.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having
Okay.
me.
And last but certainly not least is Marissa McFarland, who is the author of When Goodbyes Begin, her debut novel. Her short story, New in Town, was featured in the online magazine Pawners Papers. She's born and raised in Eastern Pennsylvania in an Italian American household. She now resides in Clemson, South Carolina, with her husband and two amazing boys. And she is also a book club member. So we are so happy to have the three of you guys. Welcome, Marissa. Welcome, Natalie, and welcome, Shay.
Yay to all of
Yay.
you.
So, hi.
Hi.
Hey.
What's up?
What's up?
Um, I think the best way to start this conversation off is for each of you to tell us how your journey started, your publishing journey, whether you chose to go independent or if you're self-published. What made you make that choice? Please let us know that journey because it's so interesting and we have so many authors and writers that are book club members and I know they would just love to hear your story. So let's start off with Natalie on this one.
Hey. So, for me, I became a writer when I was 12 years old. I know that sounds like crazy, but
No.
I had a little bit of a traumatic childhood. So books were my escape. They were my safe place, where I would never be hurt. But at 12 years old, I read a book that hurt me. And I didn't know where to go with my grief. I didn't know what to do with all of it. So I did the only thing I could think to do to make the pain stop, and that was to rewrite the ending. And so when I read what I had written and then went back and, added it to where I felt like the author went wrong, I realized that I was a writer because I thought if I could make myself feel this, I could make other people feel that as well. So that began my writing journey, which, went to school for it, then had to drop out of school because I got pregnant, and it was just kind of like this mishmash of an adventure. And then finally, when my youngest daughter started high school, I thought, what am I going to do with myself? Kind of, the beginnings of the empty nest. And I thought, oh my gosh, of course I need to write. That's what I've been waiting for. So
Oh,
I
wow.
wrote my first book, The Water is Wide, and wrote it with my heart wide open, just, oh, I'm writing a book. And, I just thought everybody was just going to love it and want it. And yeah, it was all smooth sailing from there. But I queried it and it did not get picked up. And I was very disheartened. And I thought, oh, this is the end of the road for me. That's all I've ever wanted was to be a writer. And now, boom, dead end. And I had a really good friend of mine that was an entrepreneur, and his wife had read my book. And he said, why are you just sitting on that book? And I'm like, well, nobody wants it. And he said, my wife is a very discerning reader. And she said, the book is amazing. You need to back it yourself and go self-publish. And I was like, what is self-publishing? I had no idea. So that's what started my entire adventure into this independent publishing thing, because I was like, let's find out. And so I just jumped into the deep end and, made a lot of mistakes along the way, and made a lot of accomplishments. I can't talk, accomplishments along the way as well, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. Um, it's a beautiful thing to be able to tell your stories and give them to the world in the way that they came to you. There's nothing that's being filtered or changed or tweaked. Obviously they go to editing, and there's always feedback there. But, I've had a few professional experiences where, they wanted to change big things about the book, and I didn't want to do that. And that made me appreciate even more being an indie author, because, like with my book, House of Lights, they wanted to take out the male main character and his voice. And I stood
Oh,
by that and went ahead and indie published that, because I refused to take it out. And,
Good for you.
that's my reader's favorite character. Like, they love him. And it just
Mm.
reaffirmed to me that no matter what the future brings for me in my writing, that I have to stay true to my voice and my stories, because, I write them for the readers, and that's what matters. And, authenticity, I believe, shows on the page.
I love that. Creative freedom is so important. And I love that you stood your ground and trusted your own instincts because that was your story to tell. Um,
Thank
Next
you.
up, Shay.
Well, I definitely related to that when you were talking about removing characters and getting the feedback. So childhood. My mom used to write us letters and send them in the mail and invite us to writers club.
Oh,
And so we would get to go and we would go to her like special room and she would make tea and we would write and it was so cute. I still have some of the letters
oh, what an
because
awesome
that's
mom.
I right. How adorable. I'm like if I could be half of that, you know. But she really got me. I've always been a storyteller and a reader and that really got me into writing and then I went away from it for a little bit and when I had my son I was on maternity leave and I had this like crisis of identity of who am I? I do everything for everybody else. Like I'm taking care of this baby. I was a teacher at the time. So I'm doing all the work for the kids. I'm a wife. And I was like, what am I doing? So I started writing again as a way to do something specifically for me and it's my time. It is only for me. And I feel like I'm most authentically myself when I'm writing,
Mm.
because I'm not doing anything for anybody else. Like it is very specifically like this is my time. I get to figure out what my thoughts are. And it's wonderful. And when I first started writing, I was like, I'm just going to prove to myself I could do a first draft. And that was my only goal initially. And it took me 3 years to finish that first draft because I started and stopped a lot. And I got done and then I was like, well, I can't stop now. And so then I'm like Googling, like, how do you edit a book? What is this? And I eventually decided, I was like, okay, I want to publish this. It deserves to be published. The Nightshade deserves to live in the world. And so I, similar to Natalie, started querying at that point. And I'm involved in the Atlanta writers community. That's how Lisa and I met. And I've pitched it to agents and gotten good feedback on it and requests for the full manuscript, which is, as an author, you're like, oh, yay, somebody wants it. And I still got rejections. And I really kind of sat down, and my main reason for wanting to go traditional initially was because I didn't feel like I understood the publishing industry very well, and I didn't understand the process very well. And so I was terrified of potentially self-publishing because I didn't know what I was doing. And so I just thought, oh, if I get an agent, they'll teach me what to do and that'll
Mhm.
be okay. And once I had a couple of heartbreaking rejections, and I was just like, you know what? Like, I know what I'm doing now. I know a lot of people in the industry. I'm on the board for one of the writers groups in Atlanta. Um, I I can do this myself. And I tapped into all my resources of people that I knew and friends that self-pub and people who have connections with editors so I could find the right person and made it happen. And that's how the Nightshade came to be. And it got published in October. So I'm kind of new to going around and now doing, I'm like indie publishing and walking around and trying to like do events now and stuff, which is really cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Marissa, how about you?
Well, I I did not start as early as Shay and Natalie with my writing. I was a huge reader since I was a little one, back to the Babysitters Club and uh,
Mm.
but when I was in high school and college, I knew that I was going to go into nursing, and my teachers all told me I was going into the wrong profession, that I should be a writer. And so I was a nurse for about 10 years, and then I had my kids, and I ended up staying home and ended up starting writing. So the joke's on me. Um, but I'm fortunate that I can stay home with the kids and write. And they've been super supportive. So I started writing When Goodbyes Begin in about 2019, right before COVID. Um, mm, I I was writing more as therapy. I didn't think it would become a book. I was writing because my father was dealing with dementia and our family was,
Mm.
dealing with all of that. And so I was writing for therapy, which then turned into a huge novel. Um, I queried and queried, and I went to the Women's Fiction Writers Association conference out in Chicago, and I pitched to agents, and um, one of the agents fell in love with the book, and I thought this was it, and it wasn't. And I sat on it for a little while and had a pity party for myself. And then I finally thought, it can't live in the computer. It's got to be in readers' hands. And I know um, that it can help other families that are dealing with this. And so I decided to self-publish, and here we are. And I think it was just like Shay said, I was scared to death. Like I had no idea what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing, and I'm pretending like I do. Um,
Yes.
we all are in life. And um, yeah, so Natalie's been a great role model for me. We have had lots and lots of conversations about processes. Other indie authors who started out indie or are still indie have been amazing resources and support for me. Um, and so that's where we're at. The book comes out next week. It's a little different than trad publishing, right? Like, if you want to tour, you've got to hit the ground running and do it yourself. And so, yeah, I did it, and here we are.
Yay.
And you said your
Yay.
pub date's next week?
Yeah, the 24th.
Oh, that's so exciting.
That is so exciting.
Yes, it is. We're
Um,
getting the preview. We're getting a little preview
Yes.
of the book before it comes out.
That's right.
Well, I know we've, that's kind of been a serious topic to kick things off with, but we would now like to play a little few rounds of something we call Never Have I Ever.
Oh no.
So we're going to ask you, we're going to mention a few things. And if you have done it, raise your hand. If you have
Okay.
not done it, you don't raise your hand. And of course, if you don't
Okay.
want to play, we're going to assume you haven't done it. So, authors, never have I ever cried while writing a scene.
Oh, I'm playing too. I'm sorry.
Lisa's playing too.
Wait.
Okay. Used music or a playlist to shape a scene's mood. Okay.
Well,
Written a book that started as a short story.
awesome. I love
That's
that.
great.
Okay, I've got a couple myself over here. Um, Never have I ever changed a major plot point because a character told me to.
I like, oh, of course.
Yeah, because the characters have a lot of thoughts. Okay.
Yeah.
Strong opinion.
What's
Strong
plotting?
opinion.
I love that. Um, Never have I ever liked the book Boyfriend better than real life.
Okay.
Never have I
Crystal,
ever faced never have I ever faced writer's block for longer than 3 months.
Ooh.
I did. And I think one more just for fun. Never have I ever had the best time on a panel with other self-published indie authors.
Me. And I have to clarify something because I accidentally lied. I have
Uh-oh.
bawled my eyes out and writing scenes, but I was so confused because I thought never have I ever means you didn't do it. So I was like, wait.
Oh.
So sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I was slow on the uptake. So
That's okay.
That's
It's a little
okay.
tricky.
It's so funny how um each of you had the short story component. That's cool. You can keep
Oh,
it going. I love
I
that.
love short
I
stories
know.
because they're low pressure. Because, we're all, have written books here. So it's like, you know the pressure that's on you with an entire book and all the plot holes and all the things, that could go wrong. In a short story, it's like a little thing you can control and like make everything fit in this little box. So it's fun to do those. And
Interesting.
sometimes they're like, I'm bigger than that.
I
Yeah,
took a whole class on short story writing, and then I turned one of the shorts. And I tended to all my short stories that I wrote had horrific endings, and they were all psychological thrillers, which I didn't write. Full and but one was a middle grade, and which
Oh,
is
cool.
now a whole book that's sitting inside my computer, so that'll come out at some
I
point.
love that.
Oh, fun.
Okay. Well, I think
Amazing.
I've been doing some short story like competitions just to get out of my head when I'm like editing. Like, let me just do this week-long competition. And then some of them are like, ooh, should we be full stories?
That's so fun.
Ooh,
I've been
well,
doing a
it's a good test
microfiction
run.
It,
I've
Oh,
been
I'm
doing
sorry, Natalie. Go
microfiction
ahead.
on my page.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah, so
nice.
that's a real challenge to try to get an entire story in 250 to 300 words, but
Oh
it's
my
fun.
goodness.
Yeah, they've done a
Wow.
couple of those. One of the Atlanta Writers Clubs they
Yeah,
do them pop up like 200 or 300 word contests like that day when you go to the meeting and you don't know and you're like, oh.
that'll
it's great
stretch your
Good.
exercise.
creative legs.
Great
Yeah,
Oh my
exercise
goodness,
in
it
writing.
would.
those are great
Well,
exercises.
that was lots of fun. So we've kind of alluded to them already, but we'd like for you to tell us about your latest novels. And of course, Marissa, yours is a debut, so we'll know which one you're talking about. And we'd like to start with you. So tell us a little bit about When Goodbyes Begin.
Okay. It's a multi-generational family saga about Anna Capozzi, who leaves her nursing career to put for a new
Imagine
life, only to have her dreams put on hold again because of her father's devastating diagnosis, forcing her to confront some family secrets and redefine her future. It's filled with drama. It's filled with family dinners, lots of wine, lots of food. So make sure that you've got your favorite Italian restaurant on speed dial while you're reading it, or you'll regret choice.
I'm
Love
hungry.
it.
Love it.
Can you
Love
hold
it.
that for us?
Sure.
Yay.
Yay. I
Love
like the
that
cover.
And because self-published authors can sort of come up with their own publishing names, right? So I went with Rooted in Ink. My whole family worked together to determine the name of it. And my oldest son is an artist, and so he designed the tree.
Oh,
Oh,
Um,
that's
amazing.
so sweet.
so
I
yeah,
love that.
and it's a tree with roots growing into the tree. Maybe you can see it.
Oh,
Oh, that's
oh,
Love it.
beautiful.
nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's so special to have him like as part of the final product. That is so cool.
Yeah,
So,
that makes
Natalie,
it
what about you?
special.
did you say me?
Yes, Natalie.
Okay. So my latest is Between Friends. It is a psychological thriller. Oh, my readers do call it a cozy thriller because I'm a little bit of a softie, so I weave the softness into my thrillers. This book is about a girl who, straight out of high school, she runs from her rural small town out to California to go to school, and out there she becomes a high profile fashion photographer, leaves her past behind. But, as stories do, the past is coming calling for her, and her mom passes away, and she has to go back to her small town in North Carolina and clean up her mother's estate. And when she's there, she has to face the tumultuous relationship that she had with her mom. And then she also has to come face to face with her former best friend in high school. There was three of them. They were like Mean Girls, if you think about like that movie, the popular girls. Everybody wanted to be them, and the leader of the pack, so to speak, stayed in the small town. And so when she gets back, all of this stuff starts coming full circle, including what happened on senior graduation night in the woods behind her house. The three friends went
Ooh.
into the woods, and only two came out. And the two girls that were left are the only ones that know what happened to the third girl. It's basically a cold case. And while Maddie's the main character, when she's cleaning out her mom's house, they start putting in a new neighborhood behind the house, and in doing so, they find evidence of foul play. So the entire thing comes full circle to her.
Sounds great.
It
It's really
stopped
good.
sounding
I read it.
cozy at the woods.
Can I just want to say the chat is exploding with hearts right now.
Oh,
So they're
Oh,
loving these books and people want to add them to their TBR.
Thank you,
So
ooh,
guys.
good book. Natalie's book is so good.
Oh, Marissa, thank you.
okay, Shay, what about you? Tell us about yours.
So the Nightshade is fantasy. And my main character, her name is Layla Vaish, and she is known as the Nightshade, and she destroys the reputations of the aristocracy in their city until she is caught and blackmailed by one of them. And then she has to pretend to be part of the aristocracy up in the palace with the council of the Sultan. We have a new Sultan coming into power, and the royal vizier is trying to steal some power. So it's book one of a duology. Book two is coming out later this year.
Wow.
and hold the
Yay, do
cover.
you know when?
It's one of the most beautiful covers, or it's very
It's
It
detailed.
gorgeous.
it makes me
It
happy, and there's
is.
all sorts of Easter eggs in it that you have to, when you read, you'll be able to catch all the Easter eggs in the cover. And it makes
But
me very, very happy. I have not set a publishing date for the end of the year yet. I'm waiting to see how editing goes over the summer because I'm sending it to my developmental editor, and then I'll set a date after that. So I'm kind of
yay.
waiting to see how the editing goes first.
That is
Awesome.
just fabulous.
Sounds
And I
pretty
see that lovely, lovely cover behind you on the wall.
Yes,
It's
and you
such
can't
Hmm.
nice
tell, but
art.
I have a map in my book. So this is the map, and then that's a artist rendition of Layla. But I'm a book with a map.
Yay.
Hey,
That's amazing.
Official fantasy book right here.
That's beautiful.
see, I know Lisa's going to ask you another question, but I just love it. Just listening to the descriptions, three very different books, but all sounding just fabulous to read.
Thanks.
So
Yes.
yeah.
I was gonna say both
that's
of y'all's
gonna
books are now on my TBR.
Authors supporting authors.
that's
Absolutely.
right.
Um, one thing that I wanted to ask about with the self-publishing or indie aspect, you do get to have a little more say in the cover. But how do you decide your cover? How much do you go through? Do you have to buy it or not buy? Do you have to get an artist to do it for you? Like, how does the cover process work when you're doing self-publish or indie publish?
Well,
And we will start with you, Shay, since
Okay.
yours your cover was the most detailed. So I feel like there had to be some artwork, something
As
there.
So one of my friends who also indie published, I had beta read for her, and then I saw her art come in, and I was like, ooh, whoever you worked with is who I want to work with, because he got the vibes and the whole feel of the story. Um, and without reading it, like he's amazing. So my artist is named J. Caleb Designs, and he designs covers. If you look at his portfolio, it's a lot of sci-fi. And I was like, is this something that you're interested in doing? And he was like, yeah, let's go for it. So we met on a Zoom. We talked for 30 minutes. I said, here's what the book, and he asked me a lot of follow-up questions. And I just like to say he's worth his weight in gold. Like I
Wow.
I originally told him, I was like, let's like do an Indian woman who's like kind of behind a veil and like looking over her shoulder and like that kind of thing. So he gave me that. And then he gave me like a very early version of this. And I was like, how did you know what I wanted when I didn't even know what I wanted? And he was fantastic to work with. So it was a lot simpler of a version when we did the first version, and then we went through a couple of back and forths with it, because like all of these like little details were like he had like swords and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, we don't need the swords. So we went back and forth, and then he's just been so great to work with. So I'm excited. I want to go ahead and design book two's cover, but I'm trying to give that to myself as a reward after I get to the editing process. Like,
the carrot at the end of the stick.
yes, that's what I'm doing. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I got to keep editing.
Natalie, what about you with your covers?
Well,
How
because
much
I've got
do
the
you?
big
Yeah.
long gamut of, baby indie, back in the day when there wasn't a lot of resources, because I published The Waters
Right.
Wide in 2017, and self-publishing has really blown up since then. So I designed originally my first four covers using images purchased off of, like what's it called? Starts with a S, I can't remember. So I would, buy the
Shutterstock?
right. Yeah, what'd you say?
Shutterstock?
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Shutterstock. And then I would just kind of play around with it and mess with it until I felt like it had the proper vibe. Now, they've gotten new covers since, all of them except the dark room doesn't have a new cover. But um, so then, doing my own covers, and then, I got introduced by a friend of mine to Julianne St. Clair, and I know that's Marissa's also her cover designer. And she came into my life through my friend Jennifer Mormon, and the next thing I'm just given this cover that Julianne designed for the Canary Song that is kind of like Shay's experience. I'm like, how did she know? And so that just started my journey on, oh my gosh, I need to let someone else's hands come in this pot. Just because I'm indie doesn't mean I have to do everything alone. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been really fun. I just kind of also the same way, it's just went to Julianne with the feelings. Like this is what I'm seeing for like House of Lights. I wish I had a copy I could show you right now. It's like a southern home in this the little dishes, that have the dome that goes over the top.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? So it's like the
Uh-huh.
southern home is in the dome. It's beautiful, but it's trapped. And so because the House
Wow.
of Lights is about, a neighborhood where they can't get out.
Love
And
it.
so it's really neat to see someone because some writers are gifted also in design, so I can't say, but we all kind of have our unique gifts. So being
Mhm.
able to allow someone else to bring their gifts and get to share in that is such a beautiful experience.
Agreed.
Love it. And Marissa, you talked a little bit about the special tree because your son designed it at the bottom, but can you talk about your cover and how you came to decide on yours?
Yeah, so like Natalie, I also use Julianne St. Clair through Jennifer Mormon, one of my good friends. And to be honest, I had no idea after 5 years of writing that book, I had no idea what I wanted the cover to look like. I had a lot of opinions from people that had read the book. I had opinions from my editor, but nothing just felt right. And so Julianne and I talked and talked and talked. And she said, if you trust me, let me do my magic. And so she did her magic. I mean, we moved a couple of things around. Like she like I wanted the fig leaves. So we talked about the fig leaves because they're pretty significant to the story. And she had a different pasta bowl, and I wanted it more authentic to my heritage. And so, but beyond that, I mean, she nailed it. So
Awesome.
It's beautiful. I agree.
thank
She did
you.
nail it. But Julianne, everything she touches turns to gold. So
Mm.
So good. Yeah.
That's awesome that it all came through Jennifer Mormon. We're big fans of her here. We've had her on
Yep.
book club before as well, and she always has beautiful covers, so that makes perfect sense.
She does. And that was exactly why I wanted her cover artist. I've always loved her covers. I was a little concerned because, she does magical realism, and I wasn't sure, turning that cover into a family saga. It's got a little bit of a different vibe, but no worries. She nailed it.
Awesome. That's so cool. Well, one thing that we always ask before we start to wrap up, our members like to know where they can get a signed copy of your book if they want. So if you could tell us where they can get signed copies and how people can keep up with you. And I think you guys will each have a lot more new interested people in your books because they all sound amazing. And we will start with Natalie this time.
Hey. Well, I want to just add a little like asterisk too, because one of the things that I always tell my readers, because of my experience at 12 years old of reading a book that devastated me, Natalie Banks novels always come with a guarantee that you may not always know what's going to happen because I'm really good at twists, but I will always leave you feeling good when you end
Mm.
a Natalie Banks book. So it's just very important to me that my readers walk away feeling good. So I just wanted to put my little asterisk out there. And if you would like to follow me, you can find me on Instagram at official Natalie Banks. You can go on nataliebanksnovels.com and sign up for my newsletter. I do send out short stories on there sometime. And like I said, I do put microfiction on my Instagram page. Signed copies are available through Bad Bees Books. If anybody's interested, I've got a link, I believe, in my bio on Linktree on Instagram. If not, I will remedy that immediately. And if somebody wants something personalized, they can always reach out to me through email or DM.
Perfect. Shay, what about you?
So if you would like a signed copy, you can just message me. I have author Shay Rodricks. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky. And then my email is authorshayrodricks@gmail.com. So any of the ways.
Okay.
And then my book is also available on, like, if you want an ebook, it's Kindle and Kindle Unlimited. And then
Yay.
if you don't want a signed copy, but you just want a copy, you can get it from anywhere online, Barnes and Noble, Amazon, Bookshop. Oh,
Perfect.
and I'll be at, if you're in Atlanta or around the Atlanta area, I will be at Conyers Book Festival, which is April 11th and 12th at the International Horse Park. So if you are an Atlanta
Nice.
person and you just want to come visit and say, hey, I usually give away character art and that kind of thing too while I'm at my author events. So
Very
Nice.
cool.
yeah.
And Marissa, this big, beautiful pre-pub week.
Oh, I
How
know.
can people get signed copies of When Goodbyes Begin?
Okay, so I do have a link tree on my Facebook and my Instagram. You can see it there at Marissa Writes Books. And on my link tree, I have all of my tour event dates. I will be, and if you're in South Carolina, I will be in Clemson at the library on my launch night. And the next night on the 25th, I will be actually at the Duluth Library in Georgia. If you want to come and see me speak with Dawn McCurry over at the Duluth Library, we'll be in conversation there. I will have signings at Hub City and M. Judson, and I'm also speaking at the Pat Conry Literary Festival, or Literary Center, if you are in the Low Country of South Carolina. But all my tour events, and I will be in Pennsylvania in June. But yeah, just reach out and I can get you a signed copy if you're not local.
Very, very cool. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This has been so much fun, and we appreciate you giving your insight and expertise on the independent self-publishing side of the business. And before we let you go, we want to make sure we get a great photo. You guys could hold up your books and we'll get a screenshot of those
Yay.
wonderful books.
Love it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank
This
you
was
for
Thank you
having
so
us.
so
much.
fun, and I
Thanks
loved
for
getting
having
to
us.
know Marissa and Shay so much better too. And
Yes.
thank you for everybody who tuned in. This was great. And sorry I went dark for a little while. I was like, looked at the little screen. I'm like, oh my God, it's dark. But I'm back.
That's okay.
It goes
That's
with the
okay. Thank
mystery.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. She's
That
cloaked
was
in
the,
darkness.
yeah, that was the cozy thriller.
It was
You were
it was
cozy
intentional on my
thriller.
part.
Oh, once again, as Lisa said, thank you so much. It has been just a wonderful pleasure to talk with you guys tonight. And I want to wish you the best of luck, especially Marissa's launching next week. So excited for all three of you and wish you the
Thank
best.
you.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
you
having
guys are
us.
wonderful hosts.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Take care.
Yeah, take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Da, 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 da. And then there was 4. Wow. What a great
Yeah.
night. So we do want to remind everyone, Brenda mentioned it at the beginning, but our prompt this month for the reading challenge is to read a self-published or indie author. So we recommend that you support all 3 of these ladies by reading their books, and you can pre-order Marissa's books and Shay's books and Shay's book and Natalie's book. Ooh, that was tough.
It's a tough one.
Books in their case are available now. So add to cart and support these wonderful women. What great stories.
I know. I love it. I think each of them could have been a story on its own. The things that
I
I need to go
know.
back and listen again because it was so fascinating, all of their stories. So that is really
Amazing.
cool. And I'm very excited about this indie author focus this
Me
month. And
too.
the things that we have
Me
learned is
too.
so awesome. But
So
we have
read.
some other, I was going to say,
Oh,
we have some other things coming up too. I think
we
you were going to
do.
tell. Yeah.
Before you jump into that, readers that are still
Okay.
with us, let us know how you liked the spotlight. Do you want to see more indie or more
Oh,
author spotlights like this on the page? And let us know what you want to read. Did you buy any of the books from tonight? Add them to your cart? Okay. I think I'm done babbling.
no, you weren't babbling. That was a good point.
Oh, can you tell my mind is going towards Michael B. Jordan?
No, not yet. Just a few more minutes. Hang in there. Oh, book club members, we're fighting a battle for Lisa's
I'm
attention.
here.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. So now, Lisa, do you want to tell them about April? I mean, not April, March, tomorrow.
Yes. I was like, April, what's happening? So, as if you get us 2 nights in a row. So, tomorrow night, we are going to be having our lovely book club discussion with Heather Weber on the Forget Me Not Library. So you can join us tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the book club page for that book club discussion. And then during the recent happy hour, we did make the announcements of our April, May, and June book club picks. So we can go through that. We
Okay.
have
I'm ready.
we have April 20th. We've got Sarah Fox, and we're going to be discussing Definitely Maybe Not a Detective, which is a rom-com mystery, and it sounds super cute. I can't wait to read it. Monday, April 20th at 7 p.m.
I love this cover too.
I do too. It's
Just such
so
a great
cute.
mashup of, romance and comic, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I
So,
think it's
whoops,
great.
I'm sorry. Uh, I need to stop because I'm going back to my book
I know. I
recommendations.
was like, I don't know what's happening here, but okay, we're gonna keep it moving.
I know that was just a little oops on my part. Okay,
That's all
so
right.
that that brings us to May 18th. And
I'm already gone.
I know, and our book club pick for May is That's What Friends Are For by our good friend Wade Rouse.
Yay!
And yay, we're very much looking forward to that.
And I'm
And
so
then
excited for this book. It's gotten so much praise.
I
And
know
kudos to Wade for having his first fiction book in his name
his
instead of
name.
Viola Shipman. It should be celebrated. So,
It should. But
yay.
I also love that he honored his grandmother that way. So it's
Oh,
kind of a
yes, I did
double-edged
too.
sword.
I
But
did too.
I mean, and the other thing is this again, this cover is just so cool, you know.
Yeah,
The,
it
I
is.
feel like book covers have become art among themselves, and I just love it.
Oh, for
So,
sure.
so in
While
June we
you're
actually had. I'm sorry.
actually, oh, hold on. We've got
Okay.
one more in May or one. Oh, no, you're
Okay.
right. Go ahead. You're
Okay.
right.
So June 4th, we have our next happy hour with Ron Block and another secret guest, and that'll be a Thursday night at 7:30 and not 7 at our usual
Eastern.
time. And then we move back
Mhm.
to our regular June pick, which is Christy Woodson Harvey and Summer State of Mind. Much
Yay!
anticipated and excited about reading that one.
So excited. So those are our book club picks. And like I said, what a great night.
I
What a
know. I
great
love it.
night. And let me see, I'm gonna see what we've got. Phyllis says, I like to hear one or more book titles. I work at a public library and I like to have these books added to our collection.
Oh,
Awesome.
yay.
Um, Rose said When Goodbyes Begin by Marissa McFarland is a great generation read. Edie says such delightful authors. Hope to read these. Francine said Between Friends was a fantastic 5-star read.
Oh,
That's
yay.
Natalie, that was one of
Yes, I
Natalie's
can't wait to
books.
read all of these.
Okay. So awesome. Well, before we go, we just want to share. Um, we have a Buy Me a Coffee, which is what we use to, if people want to make a donation of any kind to help us run the book club and to have special events and things like this. You can scan this QR code and you can have the opportunity to make a donation. Brenda and I fund everything ourselves for the book club. So we appreciate any donation that you have. We did a great campaign with our 5-year anniversary, $5 for 5 years. And we appreciate all the love that we've received so far and the continued support. So thank you. And to all the indie authors or upcoming writers out there, whether you're making the decision to be indie, self published, go traditional, whatever works best for you. I think the key component that we learned from these three amazing women tonight is to trust your own voice, trust your own gut, and don't be afraid to tell your own story. So, on that, we will say good night and
And I will say happy reading.
I will say PB and J out.
Night, everybody.